Welcome to Real Talk with AWC Advisors. Today we have a special guest. We have Dr. Cecilia Ruiz. She's going to be talking to us about holistic health. So please welcome, Omar.
Hola, hello. How are you doing,
Hola.
Cecilia? Bienvenida. Welcome.
Bienvenida. Please tell us about what's holistic health for college students.
Okay, so hi, thank you for inviting me. I'm born and raised in San Luis, and then I lived in Yuma for a while, so I'm part of that area in Yuma. So, well, thank you for the invite, and I think this is very important right now to understand what true health means, because usually we focus on the body. We focus on, if my headache hurts, then I give a pill and then it takes away the headache. If I can't sleep, or if I feel very anxious or I feel depressed, then I go to the doctor and I take something, okay? That works for many reasons, and that is something, it's part of the treatment. But when you talk about holistic approach, you talk about also the mind aspect and the lifestyle of a person, okay? You can't separate your body from your emotions. And every emotion you have, every thought you have, is going to generate a change in your body. So when you think about something that's very frustrating, or you get mad or something, that releases some chemicals in your bloodstream, and that changes your heart, the way you think, the way you feel, and even how you digest food, you know. So it's very important to understand that when you could say holistic, holos means unified, the whole thing. So when you talk about a human being, you talk about a mind, a body, a spiritual connection, and emotions, okay? So if you only focus on the traditional medicine, very good for certain things. Sometimes you need surgery, sometimes you need a medication. But I would say 90% of the time that can be prevented if you would take care of your lifestyle and you would take care of what you eat. And what you eat, I mean by physically and mentally, you know, what you're putting in, what you're looking at, from what type of movies you see, what type of relationships you have, every single aspect at the end is going to affect how you're feeling. So I think that trying to go into a holistic approach is that you look at all the aspects of your lifestyle and try to go back to the basics and really attend to not just the physical and trying to fix the physical, but also the emotional part and the psychological part.
That is great, Cecilia. I like the fact that you mentioned that, you know, we want to be in touch with all these other, you know, facets. As a culture, I think we tend to be very reactive. Like you said right now, my head hurts, I'll take a pill, doesn't hurt anymore, I'm good to go.
Exactly.
But it's very hard to be proactive when it comes to being healthy. What do you recommend, you know, for students maybe who are struggling with, you know, keeping up with that? How would you recommend ways to become proactive with your health and a holistic approach?
Well, in one of the first things I really recommend is that you monitor your day, your rhythms. So we have what's called biological rhythms. Our body works with the sun, with the moon, even though it sounds very woo-woo and very funny, but we do produce like our sleeping hormone so you could sleep. It starts to be produced as soon as the sun sets.
Correct.
And so there's many things that get involved with you working in your rhythm. So one of the first things I see a lot is that with all the changes now that we're going online, people are really, you used to have to wake up at 5 to get to school at 7. Okay, so that was waking up with the sun. But now, because you're online and you're doing homework, you stay up till midnight and then you wake up at noon, and then the day went by and now the sun sets so early that you never got exposure to the sun, you didn't get your vitamin D, you didn't get your exercise in. So one of the first things is to try to go back to the basics and trying to get your day disciplined. The other aspect is we're animals. We need movement. Okay, that you can't ignore that aspect. we need our heart to pump oxygen into our brain every single day. And we need all the nutrients that you eat to be properly digested and eliminated through sweat, through urine, so you need to be monitoring all those aspects. So going into like at least walking, exercising 30, 40 minutes a day as a minimum. My girl was telling me the other day, well, Mom, I walk to school and it's 2 miles. I'm like, but that's the minimum you should be doing. Okay, walking, that's a minimum. Now you need to exercise. So we have kind of we're more sedentary now, and that affects many aspects, from anxious to depression to I see a lot of digestive problems like stomach problems and irritable bowel syndrome, just because people are not sleeping when they should be, they're not exercising enough. And I mean, and of course the food. I mean, if we're eating at 10 p.m., you're not going to sleep properly.
So what's the latest that we should eat?
So according to the holistic approach, you should eat when there's sun. You should eat throughout the day. Your meals should be when you're active, when you're moving. We should not be eating close to bedtime, because digestion steals a lot of the energy from rejuvenating or detox or all those things. So you have to think yourself as you're either eating and digesting, or you're either resting or rejuvenating. So if you feel fatigued all the time, that can be that you're not sleeping well. Even though you do sleep, you close your eyes and you sleep. Right. But if half of that 8-hour period you were still digesting, then you weren't necessarily rejuvenating or getting your batteries up and going. So that's, go ahead.
I remember when I was in college, not too long ago, all right? Not too long ago. Let's say 5 years ago. And, you sleep late, you have terrible habits usually. I did, at least. I slept late. I woke up early. I had morning classes. And when I really needed to sleep, sometimes I would take supplements like melatonin, just to make that work. Do you recommend any type of supplements for students maybe who are in that boat and can't sleep or?
Okay, so for me, supplements, which are vitamins, minerals, herbs, spices, should never substitute a good
meal
rhythm and good eating. Okay, so if you're eating a hamburger and French fries at 10 p.m., you are not going to produce sufficient melatonin to go to sleep. So you're going to take it. But then if you do that one day, like if you do that on Friday, but then the whole week you're doing it properly, then you should be okay, because the body can take a couple hamburgers eventually. But if you're doing it every day and you're having your soda and your French fries y las papitas con chamois y todo eso, then
that becomes an
you
issue.
will start to need those supplements, and you can never substitute the quality of production of your body. Your body has a certain chemical formula to produce all the hormones, and melatonin is a hormone. So even though you take it, it's not the same as the one that your body produces. So I think that yes, the supplements are very useful, but never ever substitute nutrition, biological rhythms, and exercise for that. Because then.
And how do you feel that our eating habits are related to stress?
Well, okay, so stress for me is anything that causes an obstacle to what you want. So you get frustrated, you get angry, you get, you get very bothered by something or someone. So that causes stress. So how the body perceives that is that when you think of something that gets you mad, your body thinks you're in danger, okay? Your body doesn't know the difference between a tiger chasing you or your homework that needs to be turned in at midnight, okay?
It's fight or flight. It's fight or flight.
Fight or flight. It turns on. When we turn out the stress mechanism, our body as the defense mechanism, and it's very amazing what our body does.
It's good for us too. It keeps us.
It's good because we can react, okay? Yeah. But what happens is that when we activate the fight or flight, certain mechanisms in the body go to sleep so that they don't burn energy, okay? Because we're going to need energy to fight that tiger or get that homework done, okay? So the mechanisms that shut down in our body so that we have enough energy to fight are digestion and immune system, okay? So if you eat when you're under stress, it would probably be the same if you grab a piece of paper and chew on it. You won't absorb nutrients. You'll probably get constipated or diarrhea and have all this distension and gases and burping and acid reflux and everything because your digestion is in that shutdown kind of place instead of. So our body learns how to do that. But so if once in a while we're stressed and we need to do something, but then when you sit down to eat, you try to, be present, probably breathe, sit down to actually eat and not be doing 3 things at the same time, then that would help. Okay. But usually we're doing homework and eating and all that, and so that is something, if somebody's having like abdominal issues, I would really recommend that they should eat more in the daytime and be careful how they're eating. It's not usually what you're eating, it's how you're eating. If you're under a lot of stress or eating fast or under doing 2-3 things at once, then your body is not in that digestion mode.
So thinking about your go ahead, Omar, do you wanna?
No, I wanted to ask about, if you had any recommendations as to other types of activities when students are experiencing high levels of stress. So just any activities that you recommend.
Well, I mean, my main activity, and for me, not just me, for science now, meditation and mindfulness are the techniques to go to. I would have to give you approximately 20 different medications or supplements so that it could be an equivalent to what meditation does to the body. So like I said, something stressful activates the fight or flight, but then we want to activate the restore and rejuvenate, and that you can do through meditation. You can also do it through deep breathing, and breathing is not that hard. So even if you shift, because we do it all the time, even if we shift our breathing from the normal is 18 times per minute. So you're breathing there, sitting down, you're probably breathing 18 times per minute. What happens when you get anxious or when you get frustrated? You usually accelerate your breath, okay? Yeah. So that activates the fight or flight. Shallow, fast breathing activates the stress mode. So if you bring your breath into a more deep and slow, about 5-6 breaths per minute, that would be 5 seconds inhaling, 5 seconds exhaling. Studies have shown that if you do this pattern of breathing after a couple minutes, you will shift from that fight or flight to the restore and calming mode.
So good homeostasis, right?
So even sometimes I would usually recommend that we do this every day when you're exercising, when you're walking, just so you get used to it. Because by the time you get mad and you want to breathe, it usually doesn't work. You want to practice. It's like trying to run a marathon and just showing up that day. It won't work. You usually want to practice breathing or meditation every day, a couple minutes, and find a technique that works for you. And then that way your body and your brain will recognize what you're trying to do and it will activate.
So looking at the situation that we are facing in everybody, we have modified how we work, how we study, how we live. What recommendations do you give students to stay healthy in this epidemic that we are facing?
So I would say practice meditation first. Find a way to calm the mind, because we have enough drama and we have enough news and we have enough things coming into our mind, okay? And so half of those things, the only thing they do is they cause fear, or they cause frustration, or they cause, some kind of of negative feeling. So just trying to stay away a little bit from media, okay? Social media is also a big thing because it creates a lot of demand. I see my daughter, I mean, TikTok, Instagram, I mean, there's some people that have that as a professional way of living. So the pictures they post are perfect and their way of living is perfect, but sometimes it's just the picture. And so social media creates a lot of stress, I think, in everybody. I mean, I even look at how many likes I get.
We all do, right?
So trying to just set a time. I honestly have a 15-minute limit on Facebook daily because then it can go crazy. So just as you dedicate time to outward things like social media or watching TV, or you also have to dedicate some time to give your brain some peace. Yes. And I think that's a big thing. We need to know how to balance. Yes. Because you're on the computer all day. That's a lot of things coming into your brain. And then you stand away from the computer and you start feeling your heart palpitate, or you start feeling anxious, or you want to look to see who answered. I mean, if you're already experiencing some of those symptoms, I think that it's time to just step away a little bit. Yeah. So I think the best recommendation right now is to find some kind of relaxing meditation, yoga, breathing, just walking, but walking with intention, not walking with your, with your media, walking with the intention of breathing and any kind of, bicycle. But I think between the meditation and the exercise are going to be my top recommendations. The eating, well, I know it's hard when you're in college and all that, but just trying to get at least, talking about supplements, you want to get at least some minerals and vitamins into your body. And the way you do that is fruit and vegetables. Include them every day. They don't have enough calories to make you gain weight. So I know that's something that we always worry, but it's nobody has ever gained weight by eating vegetables. So eating more vegetables is very important, especially now. We want to get all our vitamin C and our zinc and everything. Getting some sun, because you're in your room all day. Vitamin D is so important. And I worked for 10 years in Arizona, and you would think Arizona had good vitamin D, but we hide from the sun. In the winter, we're protected, and in the summer, we're in the air conditioned inside. So vitamin D is very important to keep your energy level, your focus, just to have your hormones working well. And we need some sun exposure. That is like 15-20 minutes a day that we go out in the sun. So getting away from your bedroom, if you're doing online courses, you want to step outside and catch some breath and catch some sun rays, and that would be good. So our skin produces all the vitamin D we need. So those are some of the recommendations. I can go on and on, but then at least breathing, sun, biological rhythms, yes.
Things like yoga, activities like yoga, of course, exercising, like you said.
Yoga, the reason it's my top priority is because yoga works your breathing. You work with your breath while you're doing the exercise. And the postures work in 3 ways. They create flexibility, so you move all your joints. You also work with your body weight, so you are building strength, and the balance, which is very important if you want to keep yourself focused. When you're doing a posture and you're standing on one foot and you want to do something else, you have to be very focused on where you're looking at, where your vision is, and so if you're thinking of something else, you're not going to make it. So I think yoga helps not just with the physical aspect of balance, but with the mind aspect of balance. And then if you add that you usually reduce the pattern of breath that I was talking about before, because you have to do like 5-10 breaths per posture, and you have to do deeply. So even if you wouldn't be able to touch your toes, okay, but you're doing the breath,
yes,
that's enough of a good thing. Yeah.
So it's very enjoyable to always talk to you, listen to you. So please tell us where we can find you if students want to get to know more about you.
Well, now I live in San Diego. I practice in San Diego, very nice in up north in San Diego. But I have Instituto OM. You can find Instituto OM on Facebook. Instituto OM is a holistic center that is in San Luis, Rio Colorado. And we offer nutrition, psychologists, yoga classes, and meditation. And now we're doing everything online. So you can find yoga classes online. I would say, I don't know if you have a form of allowing your students to try out yoga for 2 weeks for free or something, we would be open to do something like that. And we get together every Wednesday for meditation by Zoom. And I have on board a counselor and a psychiatrist who help me out with the meditation classes. And I also have a private Facebook group that anybody can join. It's called Mindfulness. And mindfulness is creating nourishing lives. And I talk about aspects of how to balance your body, mind, and spirit. So yes, so Instituto OM is on Facebook.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Any last comment, Omar, that you want to make?
We could go on forever. Like you say, Cecilia, you have so much great information. I thank you for taking the time, of course, to join us today and giving us such good information and feedback and advice to us, our students, to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, no, I'm open if you want to talk again, and or if you want to call me or something. But I've been doing this for more than 15 years, so I really enjoy it, and I do see that when you treat somebody and show them, not just give them the medication, but teach them how to eat and how to nurture all the aspects of the mind and the spiritual connection, very important. Not talking about religion, but the spiritual connection is very, very important also. So thank you.
Thank you.
Maria,
And I want to say that I participated in one of your retreats, and it was a wonderful experience. So thank you. And please, if you guys are interested, connect with Cecilia, and we are grateful that you attended. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in our next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Cecilia.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Maria. Bye-bye.